Hey, I'm John Bollinger in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm in Blackbird Studio with Brent Mason, who's probably the most recorded guitar player in the world. Brent, hey man, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Hey,
It's good for you to be here. It's good for me to be here. It's just good for everybody.
Good to be here. Man, I'm a huge fan. It's great to, I'm so glad you took some time to talk to us. Can you tell me a little bit about this is your new PRS Signature,
Yeah,
right?
This has been out for a couple of years. We sort of got together, Paul Smith and I and some other guys there. I can't remember who the guys came up with these, but these 408 pickups are pretty cool. They're what they do is these double coil ones, neck position, bridge position. There's separate toggle switches to split the coil.
Oh, great.
And the cool thing about these certain pickups is when you split the coil right here, it's, double coil going to single coil, and there's no volume loss at all.
Oh.
But you still get, the characteristic of that sound it switches to single coil. From double coil, no volume drop. So you can hear the kind of the high end. You can hear the high end thing, the kind of airy highs from that single coil has. And then of course the double coil, you're going to get more juice and.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Sounds so.
So this and this one here, I can't remember. You know the name of that one? It's a long pickup.
Yeah, it's a long pickup. I don't
Google
know.
this one. And because that's when we need Paul Reed Smith here to say, "Would you know the name of that?" But this is a single coil pickup actually.
Yeah.
It's and we experimented with different pickups in the middle there, and we had one of these 408s in there. And it just quite didn't work. It sounded a little dark. So when we stuck this thing in there in combination, it came to life.
So you really worked with them?
Yeah.
During the
Oh
design.
yeah. And I'm not. But you could tell I'm not a high tech guy. I can't tell you the inner workings of the guitar and all the wiring stuff and all that. But I can. Use my ears.
Right.
When I go to the shop, I go, what are you doing there? This is what it needs. I explain it in layman terms or whatever. But this guitar is so cool. It's got it's kind of it's an all-around guitar, but it will really jump out on lead tones. Rather than just clean. In the front, I got it on a double coil there. It's got a real pretty, it's got a nice. And that's the front. It's just a beautiful tone if you want to play clean.
Yeah, beautiful.
But and then if you kick this on, then you kick on a pedal or something, and you want a lead tone. It's got a great lead tone. I'll just kick on one of them. And that's just a little bit. I don't have it. You can crank them up too. You can crank them up some more.
Yeah,
isn't that a great tone?
Awesome.
I mean, it still has a pretty, you can hang on that scream, put that vibrato on, and it has a nice tone. It isn't ratty and hurt your ear, So
yeah, it's a very.
And that's double coil with these two together, which is set up, just like 5-way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a killer guitar. And I like seeing you use the whammy bar because I've always known you're such a
I
Telly
love the
guy.
whammy bar.
Yeah, whammy's awesome. It stays in tune well.
It does. It stays in tune great. And
yeah, what a great design. Well, hey, let's talk
Anyway.
about some of these other ones too. That one is awesome.
this is a '68 Telly. This is my baby. It's kind of been bastardized a little bit. You know, you can see all that, but
Yeah, what
it started out. Go ahead.
What all did you do to this guitar over the years? At one point, I think I saw you on like that Mark O'Connor show that they used to do.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think
Well,
you had like a Kaler or something.
I did. I put a Kaler in it, a gold, and because I thought, man, that's a great guitar, and I just wish it had a little that stuff that Jeff Beck does so well. And when I put it in on this guitar, it just sucked all the sustain out of it. I was sick. I thought, man, I went to Joe Glaser and said, I got to get this off. It's really got no sustain anymore. It just didn't work on this because it had to rat it out a little bit to put it in there, so I had to fill it back up. And I took it out, but yeah, I played it a little bit on those American Music Shop days, and it did some cool stuff, but it just took the life out of it.
Right.
It was a dumb idea. So,
but what an amazing guitar! I mean, what a legendary guitar. That thing's been on so many albums.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's been on all Alan, all those Alan Jackson, Brooks and Dunn, and
Married to a Waitress. That's
right.
Blazing solo on that. So now you repainted it yourself, right? Or
No, this is no. I would do a better job. No, this was painted originally, and the guy that traded it in he got a PV or something like that. He traded it in years and years ago in the '80s, and I think he'd stripped the paint off of it, going to repaint it, and then he decided to trade it on another guitar.
Yeah.
So this is a car primer.
Wow.
So he put that on there, got to repaint it, and then he went, oh no, screw it, I'm gonna get another guitar, I'm just gonna trade it in. So those days where you could walk in a music store and pick one up for $500 or $600,
right. Like what year did you
maybe
get
not
this?
even that much. What's that?
What year did you buy this guitar?
80, it was 82.
Wow.
Or 83, it might have been 83.
So back then, like a '68 Telly wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
It wasn't like a
the story on
vintage
this one was, Don was a guy, Don Kelly.
Oh yeah.
A lot of guys played with him. He had great guitars. I'm one of the original ones that played with him. And then he had like Johnny Hyland and Guthrie Trapp. All those guys had played with him at one time. But Don had hired me in like '82, and we were playing a little club on Murfreesboro Road here in Nashville called Stagecoach. Anyway, I was playing one of those Hagstrom Swedes. Remember those? It's like it's like a Les Paul kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, I had one as a kid because I got a good deal on it. And he goes, man, he says, that's not the guitar for Nashville. I go, really? He goes, no, you need to get a Telly or a Strat. You need to get the thing, man. And I said, okay. So we went and bought one. He went to like Hughley's Music.
Oh yeah.
Out when the old one.
Right, I remember that place.
Hughley's Music. They're not there anymore. He bought this one, Don Kelly, and I bought a cream-colored one, another Telly, about the same year. And we took them to the club, and I was playing mine, and he was playing his, and I said, man, I kind of like, he was playing this one, I kind of like that one, the sound of that one better. And Don, he goes, well, just take this one, I'll take that one. We'll trade them. So I ended up with this, and he got the other one.
Yeah.
And, this was, been in my hands since then.
That's been the one. Now, what did you do in the pickups? What do you have in there?
Yeah, see, here that's another story. Back then I couldn't really afford to have more than one guitar. I'd have a great 335 or something, but then I'd want to get a Telly, so like that Hagstrom I was talking about. I couldn't keep that too. But I do have that one. But I'm saying if I had a 335, but I couldn't afford to keep that, I had to trade it in to get another one. So when I got this one, Joe Glaser, I said, I got to make it sound like a Les Paul too, because I can't get a Les Paul and a Telly, and I can't afford to keep two guitars with the all-around sound that I need, and a Strat.
Yeah.
So Joe put a baby humbucker in there, a mini
like a
humbucker
deluxe.
Gibson, and this is Seymour Duncan Stack in the middle with a extra volume knob.
Oh, cool.
I mean, you've seen them out all these years. Everybody's got versions of that now.
Yeah, kind of copying your.
This is a Seymour Duncan Stack, vintage stack. which is really cool. It's a great pickup, Seymour.
And are you doing a three-way switch with that?
No, it's not a three-way switch. It's a, just imagine this like it's without this knob and this pickup.
Okay.
It works the same as a Telly.
Okay.
You know, it is three-way,
Yeah.
you know. And then
you can kind of...
then this works, you volume knob for this, which you turn the volume in, bleed it in with the other pickup. So if you got it on the back pickup, you turn this on and it gets a combination of these, you know, the out-of-phase Strat.
Yeah.
Put it on the front pickup, you get these two together, the front and the middle. So it's just if you turn it off, it's off, and it's just like a
normal Telly.
Yeah, and the way he's got it wired is nothing's out of phase. I mean, you can even stick it in the middle and you got all of them, or you could turn this off. This is still a tone. This is a volume for the front, or back, you know, either one. If this off and this all the way on, then you just get this.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty logical, really. I mean,
yeah, it's a great. In fact,
but there's no flipping switches. It's just, and then it doesn't really sound like a Strat. It comes, I never, you know, it can like fool anybody. Sometimes it can. So I actually started using this, just kind of bleeding. Sometimes Tellys get kind of thin, you know. I bleed that in a little bit. You hear it come in, it kind of scoops it out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, what is your number one like go-to country setup when you're doing like a country solo? Do you usually just back pickup, or do you combine the two?
Oh, I used to back pickup usually, you know, with a compression, back pickup with a compression, or you know, I'll kick it on here. I don't even know if it's set up. And it sounds kind of bright.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah.
You know, back pickup. Sometimes I use a little slap, and I got it here. Yeah.
Well, hey, show me a couple of these other girls you got out here. So this is your Gretsch.
Yeah. Now this is before Fender bought out. This is the Gretsch from Gretsch.
Oh, cool.
The actual Gretsch. And they're all good. I've played even the new ones, and they sound great too. But you know, a lot of recordings. You know, you want this Gretsch sound with a Bigsby. You know, which has got a nice with a little delay. They're you know, they're old. What are these pickups called?
The Filtertron, or
yeah, Filtertron.
yeah.
So I might use a little compressor with those, and I put a little delay on it a little bit sometimes. That pop, that's good. The tape echo or something. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great.
It's just a nice tech. It's really a texture guitar, but you know, it's great for, you know, of course, rockabilly. It's the Dwayne Eddy model. You know, they make different models, and they're all good. The Chet model's great. I see a lot of guys playing those. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. What model is this?
This is a 620. Says here. No, it's a 6120.
6120?
Yeah.
And how long do you have that?
I've had this a long time. I had it at the house a lot. I started bringing it to, you know, everybody said, hey, get your Gretsch. I go, oh, shoot, it's at the house. And so I started bringing it, you know, because I always wanted to keep it at the house. You know, my wife likes it. It's the only guitar I can set at the house. And my wife said, you can set that one up, and that's pretty. You know, it blends in with the curtains and everything.
Right.
So, but you know, the Telly, it's like, get that thing out of the house. It's like a mangy dog or something.
Right.
But she loves this one. But I'm bringing it to set because it's like I said, you know, music a lot of days, it has a lot to offer for what music's doing these days. You remember when Chris Isaacs came up with all those beautiful.
Totally.
I mean, his the guitar on those records were beautiful, and it kind of brought that Gretsch sound back for pretty stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Real floating kind of elegant stuff.
Yeah.
rather than, you know, and Brian Setzer was, you know, digging and playing it great. It was just, there's a lot of things it does. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Great.
use this PRS Baritone. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, great guitar.
We use it a lot, you know, records like country. You know, it's just
Yeah.
awesome sound. Tuned down a fifth, usually, and you know, you can adjust that, but great meaty tone. You know, you could use it for power chords or twang.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're tracking, do you often like do a baritone track and then lay a
Yeah,
you know,
I
on
usually
top?
do a baritone track as a second track, you
Yeah.
know, because it might just fit in on certain elements of the song and then not play on a verse or bridge or something.
Yeah.
And sometimes a signature lick might really be cool for, you know, real boom, down, 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 down.
Sure.
You know, it's got that little attitude thing.
Yeah. That's great, man. Great guitars. Okay, so Brent, you've got 3 amps. So
I got them here. Yeah, I got a lot of amps and all, but these come with the rack and stuff. And,
yeah. So what's your so right now you're plugged into the Bassman.
Yeah, I use that more. I don't know. It's just got a lot of character. It's the Bassman, 50 watts. It's a 65, and
Any modifications to it, or?
yeah. Kai Kennedy did a modification on the first channel. It's not a real hot rodded, you know, like it's set up like a Marshall. A lot of times they'll set those first channels up.
Yeah.
But he's put a little edge on it or a little mid thing on it. And I use that a lot more than anything, more than I use the normal channel. Seems like I'm kind of hanging in that first bass channel more than anything, but it's just got a lot of character. And it's fat and it's got that unmatched Fender sound that we all, you know, want to try to match. And I use it a lot, and
how cool.
it's got, you know, it stays clean and fat, but I mean, you turn it up to 5 or so, and it's gonna go, you know, break up in a nice way. Next, I got this PRS, and I was actually, it's the 2-channel H model that is Paul Smith's model, and it sounds pretty cool. I'm using it a lot on solos, like it does have 6 L6s in it, but it really distorts nice, and I'll use it just for some real radical kind of. Do you have one of those?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't have one.
But it's got a lot of it's got a nice breakup, good smooth breakup sound. I mean, I use it for solos a lot. If it's really, you want some real grunge and some scream or whatever, I'll use that on the crunch channel, lead channel, if you will.
And then the
matchless is great. Well, I mean, if you're in Nashville, you see a lot of guys plugging in the matchlesses.
Yeah.
You know, they do have it's the 30-watt 2-channel version. You know, I had this way back. I think I went out and bought it after we did that first with Mutt Lang, that first Shania Twain album. And Biff Watson and I went out to the music store, and we both wanted one, and I got there before he did, and I got the last one.
Cool.
And he still, you know, wears me out about that. But it's just got a good grit sound. It's got that, you know, that kind of transparent, you know, kind of voxy, and a Marshall-y in a way, but it's still sparkly, but it's a good grungy kind of tone, you know. You see everybody, like I said, everybody uses them a lot. They're very practical.
Yeah, they're backline.
For music, for today's music.
Yeah, like at the Opry, they have a backline there. Yeah.
It's a real versatile amp because it's got different, it's set up real nice. It's got tone notches in it. You know, you can get the fat or as you bring it down, you get some more honk, get some more voxy sounds to it.
Yeah.
Or you can get a Marshall-y kind of thing by cranking the tone, notching it out or scooping it out or whatever.
Right.
Great amp, I use a lot.
And then you've got two.
It's totally different than this, you know. It's like, I was gonna hit that again. It's totally different than that. It's like, okay, you want something, you know, it can just totally change the sound, which is what I want. You know, I don't want 3 amps that sound similar.
Right.
Each has to have its own characteristics. So.
Yeah. And you run, and then you've got 2 cabinets, like a little Walter and then an old Bassman cabinet.
Yeah. I got the little Walter cabinet over there where, and I got a little Walter amp. It's at home, and it sounds great through that cabinet.
Yeah.
It's the 50 watt, and it's got a real tweed Fender sound. Now when I'm using these amps, I run that I'm pointing back here. I know you can't see it, but it's a Fender Bassman speaker cabinet.
Yeah,
loaded
212.
loaded with 212 vintage 30s in it.
Yeah. So when you're
And I've got a
swapping-
Bogner at home. It's got 30s in it too. But there's some stuff I use at home. But this thing I've been using because they're speakers. They sound great when you start breaking them in.
Right.
And these are all sweetened out and stuff in that cabinet.
So when you switch, you just
Well, yeah, I do it the old-fashioned way. The prehistoric way. I just go around the back and pull the speaker,
pull it out.
put it on standby. Because I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
And like I gotta, I do have a switcher or something at home, but I'm always in. I'm thinking it screws with the tone. To
Yeah.
me. It does something. I mean, I know. Even maybe they've perfected it. Still in my brain, it's doing something. I don't know if it's psychosomatic, but I think it's those amp switchers. They screw with the tone. They add some kind of nasal thing to it.
Well,
And when in the studio, it's really exposed. I mean, you know how when you're in the studio, you hear very subtle changes in the tone. It's different when you're out
Whole
live.
different thing,
It's a whole different thing. But in the studio, it's very focused on what happened to your tone, man. It's not, you lost a little sparkle. What? Oh, so you got to really be aware of what you're running through and stuff like that. But anyway, again, simple. Go back and switch I don't really switch on the fly for solos. I'll stick to one amp.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Okay, so very simple amp section, great guitars. Gets a little complex when we're talking about your pedals. Let's talk about these things.
Okay, this board is just actually something I put together not too long ago, and it looks pretty scattered and crazy. It's not a beautiful setup. I mean, wires wise, they're not all underneath. Some of them obviously are out here, but it basically comes in here, and this is a true bypass. This the Dunlop or the custom audio wah pedal,
Right?
The Bradshaw design.
Yeah.
Comes in there. And underneath it's all run through Voodoo Lab power pedals and stuff, and then coming through little areas, holes here, and up through to power them up. Out of this into the I think I go into compressors, which is the Eco compressor, the Wampler one. That's the one I've been using here. I use a lot of different ones, but I seem to be hanging with that one. It's cool. Equalizer. This is modded by Analog Man. It's kind of sweetened out and quieted up a little bit when you put the high end. This is just a true tone, clean boost. It's a visual sound. Basically, I use that for a clean boost. Sometimes it'll add a little crunch. Hitting the input hard. Tone knob, which is nice, and I'll use that. And before I want to say that all these are, some of these are true bypass pedals. This like this one, but the wah-wah, but they're running through the loopers, so I got control of them down here, so I don't have to awkwardly try to turn them on and off and find them all. Which we all are hip to that, I guess. We all have those. So they're running through loopers basically.
Who made those loopers?
Now I got these off of there's a guy that's selling them on eBay. He makes them at home, and I can't think of his name. Again, you're asking me for names. I'm the worst. You don't do that.
How cool,
it's a dude.
It's a
dude on eBay.
Some dude on.
It's a dude on eBay that makes them and sends them to me.
That's too cool.
Anyway, distortion pedals. I got different. I seem to have more distortion pedals than anything because some sound good someday in some studio and some don't. We kick one and go, well, that sounds good today.
Yeah.
But exotic pedals, the RC Booster, which is good crunchy kind of rhythm pedal to put on, and the BB was Booster exotic pedal, a little more grit and and you know, for distortion and stuff like that. The Red Llama, we all know about those. The Way Huge, it's
Yeah.
kind of got its own sound on certain things. And my signature pedal, which is the Hotwire pedal.
And it's named after your song, right?
Yeah.
That killer
Yeah.
instrumental,
Yeah.
man.
Well, you gotta have cool names for your pedals, you know. It's orange. I don't know why, but okay, yeah, this pedal. I wanted something. You know, a lot of guys sometimes, you know, if you're running like closed back cabinets,
Yeah.
and you get that low end push. You go, boom.
Yeah.
You know, you hit that thing and it's rah.
Right.
It's like somebody, you know, big truck shoving up against you, they're pulling up. And this thing, if you're running like there's not you can notch up the low end, and we tried to find the right frequency for that low end push. Because if you're running an open back like a twin or something, it's hard to get that. You're going to get a cool sound, but you're going to lose the push a little bit.
Yeah.
We found a good frequency in there when you're hitting those, you know, boom, 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 you know, percussive low chords. It'll push, and there's some low end notches here. It's like fat and fatter
No, that's cool.
and normal. And there's the crunch channel, I really wanted that even texture, like when you're playing low and then you go to the high notes and then it doesn't like kill your ear, pierce your ear.
Right.
It just stays sweet.
Yeah.
Like a Marshall, you know. So we really got that nailed, the channel. I mean, it's just a great solo sound. If you're just like all of a sudden, oh, I'm gonna kick it into the full max, you know, and it just is like, wow, what was that?
Yeah, that's great.
And then so we improved on it because the other channel was just a rhythm channel, but I never, you know how a lot of those pedals you start taking the volume down and then raising the gain and the volume's going to go down. You're trying to find that perfect setting to where it sounds like an amp, like you're overdriving a small amp, but it
Right.
never can get there until you turn it down so low, then it starts to thin out.
Yeah.
So again, we put a clean knob in there, a blend, so where it keeps that fatness, and then you just find the right combination for your instrument, your guitar, and your amp, and then set that volume where you want it, and then you can go, you know, you can go to, if you're just doing some kind of blues, where you just want a little, like you're taxing an amp a little bit, and then,
Right.
then you kick them to that screaming thing, and then if you really want to put them to high watt, you know, I mean, sound, and then you kick them both on, and it really just screams. So it's pretty versatile. It's kind of like a pedal that, you know, you can. I can only bring one pedal. That's a pretty good pedal to bring, you know.
Yeah, that's a great idea to be able to blend in, because you're right.
Yeah,
they do
you got
get
two sides,
thin.
and I know there's some other pedals that, you know, hey, that's. You know, you see a lot of distortion pedals are like for days.
Yeah,
you know,
because that's the hardest one. It's the hardest one. to
yeah,
get
and
right.
then they get to start to, you know, run together and go, ah, this sounds like this pedal. I mean, after a while, it's redundant, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it's a real cool pedal. And again, you still got on this, even the channel I was talking about for the little edge, you still got the fat and the fatter, and it's the right frequency that it isn't muddy, but it'll, if you got an open back, then you might want to put it on fat or fatter when you're pushing those low, and then you get that, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound thin and like you're running through a little transistor radio or something. You know, some pedals have that sound, but so that's the cool thing about it. It's the right, the fatness where you want it, you know,
Yeah.
on the low chords and stuff, power chords. I use
Right.
a lot.
Yeah, that's a great pedal.
Yeah, thanks. And then chromat, you know, tuner. Over here we got Wamper. I got a lot of Wamper stuff on there. The tape echo is pretty cool. I like it. It's analog. You know, it's got a lot of nice, sweet settings on it. It's a tap. And now that one I don't have a tap control external down here. I have that where it's more convenient with my foot where I can tap on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy because I'm in the studio. You know, I can. But I mean, you can put an external hookup where you can tap it. You know,
Yeah,
if you
but
want to set it
that's-
up. But yeah,
that
and
works
this, of
great.
course, we got the Line 6 chorus here.
Okay, so on the Line 6, what are your main sounds you use on that?
I use it for chorusing a lot, and it's running mono, by the way. It does have a stereo feature.
Yeah.
I could rig it like that, but I'm running it through the mono left channel.
And you always record in mono, right?
I do. We all used to record stereo years ago,
Yeah.
but and you know, if you got, you know, sometimes we'll do it on certain kind of things if you got the luxury to do it. But mainly we run mono most of the time.
It seems like it cuts better like that anyway.
Yeah, it does. And then, you know, because we always end up doing another left-right guitar, something over here, one's over here.
Right.
You know, when you got stereo, then it's just like, okay, that's there and there. Well, now where does this one go? You
Right,
know?
right.
You might do it on, if you say you want a certain kind of a big kind of ambient sound. Sometimes somebody will say that and you'll kind of rig it up like that. But this, I use this a lot. I use the analog chorus, the Univibe, the Hendrix cools. It's pretty good. It sounds good, and
very cool.
And flangers and phase shifter. Sometimes this I use this thing a lot too. The SimXR Phase 90.
Standard of the industry.
It's the
That's the Wayland sound there, man.
The cat daddy of the Wayland. Anyway, so got that, and of course a tuner, so we can all stay in tune and in harmony and live in peace and all that. Memory Man, great. Love the Memory Man. I got a couple of these at home, different ones, and then great for slap and rockabilly kind of things, or tap. They stay in, really in sync and really good. Sometimes those things will lose tempo. This one seems to really hang with it pretty good if you're doing some triplets or something.
Sure. And what's that thing? That
It's a Pigtronics Tremvelope. It has a feature that will do an envelope filter kind of thing with the tremolo. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Huh.
And it's just got a great tremolo in it too. It's just, I use it, but I got different ones, but I use that a lot. It's cool, and it just looks cool.
Yeah. And what's that one on the end?
Oh, this is Audio Techniques. Again, it's like a boost, but it's a circuitry that it's a real high quality circuitry. If you plug into that, it's almost like you're plugged into a Neve module or something.
Oh.
It just takes your tone and goes like this. It's just weird.
Huh.
And you run it at the end of your signal. It just takes, you can hear it in the phones, man. You kick that thing on and the tone goes,
wow.
It just gets bigger.
Cool.
And just kind of makes the quality go up a little bit.
Right. Well, that's it, man. In the studio, everything you do is just
a
wonderful.
little verb, which I use sometimes. That's a Wampler verb. If the amp doesn't have verb, you can get that old, Phil Spector.
Sure. Yeah.
It's verb at the end of something. If somebody doesn't, it's mono. The engineer's like, hey, take that verb off, man. We won't be able to. But if they want something real cool and crazy, I like to put it on there, a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
on some Bakersfield Telly or something those.
Right.
They're always great on the amp. You can't beat the amp, but it's pretty close because Bassmans don't have verbs in them and stuff. Yeah. Matchless.
Well, Brent, man, it is. Thanks so much for letting us, in on this, man. This is like it's like the keys of the kingdom, man. This is the secrets. But it's all in your hands,
simple.
really.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is John Bollinger with Premier Guitar. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Don't forget to sign up for PG Perks, your all-access pass to exclusive gear giveaways and discounts on PremierGuitar.com.